Welcome to the Wise Words of Motivation channel. Under the title, Things You Should Always Keep. Welcome to our channel, where we always strive to provide inspiring and useful content that will help you achieve your goals and develop yourselves. Today we will explore together the world of Stoicism and 10 principles that you should keep to achieve inner peace and balance in your lives. We invite you to immerse yourself in this intellectual and spiritual journey where we will explore together the secrets of Stoicism and how to apply it in your daily life, to reach the highest levels of happiness and satisfaction. Don't forget to encourages us to provide more valuable content. And now let's start this inspiring journey together and keep watching. Don't brag about self-improvement. In a world full of ostentation and appearance, we find that Stoicism invites us to take a completely different approach. The approach of silence and humility. Let's explore together the depth of this idea. Imagine that you are in the middle of a singing garden watching an old tree with its roots extending deep into the ground and its branches gently swaying with the breeze. This tree glittering, she simply grows silently, and over time her beauty becomes clear to everyone. This is the essence of Stoicism in self-improvement. Self-improvement. It's not a race to perfection advertised on social media. It's not a path looking for admiration or applause from others. It's an inner journey that starts and ends inside yourself. When you strive to improve yourself, whether it's by learning new skills, developing healthy habits, or overcoming psychological challenges, let this journey be between you and your Stoic self. Let us know that real growth happens in secret and that major achievements do not need an audience. Every time you take a small step towards your goal, I know that this step has weight and value even if no one else sees it. Real satisfaction comes. It is from the knowledge that you are working on self-improvement patiently and persistently, and not from appreciation. Your greatest victories may be those that no one knows about, but they make you a stronger and wiser person. But with this silence you find inner peace and learn to evaluate yourself based on your own criteria and not on the opinions of others. Focus on self-improvement silently enhances your inner strength. When you face life's challenges, you will find that you have become stronger and more flexible. This philosophy also enhances your humility and always reminds you that the journey to perfection is a never-ending journey, and it's okay to be an imperfect person. Constantly strives to improve, so let self-improvement be like a tree. In the end, you will find that true satisfaction and deep happiness lie in this Stoic approach that values silence as a means of growth and improvement. Don't be talkative. We live in a world teeming with noise, superfluous words. Many of us drown in a sea of empty talk, talking non-stop, gossiping what is not useful and leaves no room for others to think. But let we stop for a moment and wonder if this huge amount of talk brings us happiness or inner peace. Does it help us achieve our goals? Stoicism teaches us that the economy of speech is the secret of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, if what you say does not surpass your silence, then silence is not a call for absolute silence, but rather an invitation to think before speaking and choose words carefully and accurately. Imagine yourself surrounded by people who listen more than they talk. In this environment, and listening is a powerful tool for understanding and learning. In our overtalk we waste opportunities to listen to the wisdom of others and benefit from their experiences. Stoicism invites us to be good listeners because listening teaches us more than speech teaches. But not only this, excessive talking can cause us stress and anxiety. We tend to babble when we feel stressed or when we try to fill in the gaps in our conversations. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to be comfortable in silence and to find peace in quiet moments. Words are double-edged swords that can build and can destroy. Stoicism invites us to use our words to build bridges of communication and understanding, not to provoke conflicts or spread negatives. When we talk less, we leave space. So let's challenge ourselves. The next time we feel like talking too much, let's stop for a moment and ask if these words are necessary. Will they add something valuable to the conversation? If the answer is no, let's keep our silence and enjoy the inner peace that it brings. In this style, we upgrade the art of speech and turn every word we utter into a bridge of real communication and deep understanding. Let's become real Stoics and turn every moment of silence into 3 opportunities for reflection and growth. Don't talk badly about yourself. The words we say to ourselves have power beyond all words that can. We are told to imagine that you are standing in front of a teenager and every negative word you say about yourself appears as scars on her glass. Over time these scars become so deep that you cannot see your image clearly. This is the effect of negative self-talk. The more you talk badly about yourself, the more you distort your inner self-image, which weakens your self-confidence and hinders your progress. Stoicism teaches us to be free of our mind and soul and protect ourselves from negative thoughts that can sneak into us. Negative self-talk is not just words, it creates a reality that hinders us from reaching our true potential. If you say to yourself, "I can't," you're putting up a barrier that's not. Instead of saying "I'm not good enough," say "I'm improving myself every day." These are not just slogans or empty words. Stoicism promotes the concept that the real action starts from thought. When you change the way you talk to yourself, changes the way you see the world and how you deal with challenges. Think about it like you're planting seeds in the garden of positive words. As your inner garden grows and flourishes, Marcus Aurelius knew that negative self-talk can be a huge obstacle to achieving inner peace. That's why he focused on the need to practice positive inner dialogue and recognize the inner strength that we all have. Avoid complaining. In moments of weakness we may find ourselves inclined to complain. Complaining may be comforting at first, but it carries with it a great danger. Stoicism teaches us that complaining is not a solution but an obstacle that prevents us from seeing the potential inherent in the challenges we face. Imagine that you are standing in front of a high mountain. The first step may be to complain, but remember, complaining doesn't make you climb the mountain, complaining keeps you in place. Sticking to feelings of helplessness and frustration. Stoicism teaches you to look at the mountain in a damaged way. Instead of complaining, look at the mountain as a challenge that gives you the opportunity to test your strength, patience and skills. Stoicism invites you to adopt a mindset of resilience and confrontation. When problems come to you, accept them as part of your journey. Focus on what you can control and how you can turn obstacles into opportunities for growth. Complaining makes you focus on the negatives, while Stoicism invites you to focus on solutions. Let's review a practical example. Imagine that in your job you are facing a difficult project and your team lacks resources. The easiest option, it's about complaining about the circumstances and about your colleagues. But what if you take an approach Stoicism? Instead of complaining, make these challenges an opportunity to develop your leadership skills, to discover new and innovative ways to accomplish tasks, and to motivate your team to work in the spirit of teamwork and cooperation. Stoicism teaches us that complaining is a waste of energy that can be used to improve the situation. Every moment you spend complaining is for an occasion when you miss an opportunity to learn and develop. Instead, make every challenge an experience where you discover your inner strength and extract the best out of you. To remember together the words of the Roman philosopher Seneca: obstacles strengthen the mind as exercises strengthen the body. Every time you feel like complaining, stop and wonder, how can I use this moment is like opportunities for growth? How can I turn this challenge into a useful lesson? With this thinking you will find that difficulties turn into teachers and complaining becomes a thing of the past, so that Stoicism is a light that guides you on your journey and make every challenge a step towards self-realization. Remember, the real strength comes from within and the ability to turn every problem into an opportunity to grow. Stay strong and be the maker of your future without complaining, but with determination and patience. 5. Don't be thirsty. In a world dominated by growing desires and a constant lust for more, trapped in an endless cycle of greed, but in Stoicism we know that controlling our desires, it is the key to inner peace and true happiness. Imagine a tree in the middle of the desert whose roots are deep in the ground, absorbing a little of the water available to it. This tree does not ask for more than it needs, but it remains strong and firm. It is a vivid example of how to live with satisfaction and the conviction of unbridled desire is like a mirage in the desert. The closer you get, the farther away. Stoicism teaches us that satisfaction does not come from having more, but from being convinced of what we have. When we are thirsty, we make our happiness conditional on the fulfillment of our desires and become slaves to these desires, but when we control our appetites, find true freedom. Excess desires create dissatisfaction and generate tension and anxiety. We may have everything material, but we feel lacking. Stoicism invites us to look for inner richness instead of outer richness. What we have inside is what makes us really rich and not what we have in our hands. Imagine that you drink salt water. The more you drink, the more you feel thirsty. Desires work the same way. The more you satisfy, the more your need for more. Stoicism teaches us to let go of this false thirst and look for inner satisfaction. Let's be grateful for what we have, instead of focusing on what we lack. By practicing contentment and balance, we find inner peace when we realize that happiness is not in more possessions, but in the conviction that we become free We can then live a life full of peace and contentment away from the turmoil caused by lust and greed. At the end of the day, Stoicism reminds us that greed is our real enemy and satisfaction is the way to a quiet and balanced life. Don't be thirsty, but be grateful for what you have, and you will find that life gives you more than you expect. Don't focus too much on the future. Have you ever felt that you are stuck between what was and will be? Sometimes we feel that we are living our life waiting for the next moment, forgetting that life is happening here and now. This preoccupation with the future can be exhausting and prevents us from enjoying the present moment with its profound philosophy. We learn to shift our attention from the uncertain future to the present full of opportunities. Imagine yourself sitting on the seashore enjoying the sound of calm waves and the salty smell of the air at that moment. Do not think about what you will do tomorrow or what may happen a month later. Instead, focus on the present moment, on the beauty and tranquility surrounding you. Indulging in anxiety about future fears are often based on assumptions and expectations that we do not have. Instead, we can direct our energy towards what we can control, which is the present. Ask yourself, what can I do now to have a positive impact on my life? Focusing on the present can significantly improve your mental health. Constant worry about the future can lead to stress and anxiety, which negatively affects your physical and emotional health. Stoicism teaches you to care about what is under your control, which is the present. When you live in the present, you become able to make better decisions and appreciate the little things that make life beautiful. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Live every day as if it were another." These words remind us that life is short and that time is our most valuable resource. Instead of wasting time worrying about what might happen, we can choose to live with all enthusiasm and passion now. Living in the present does not mean ignoring planning for the future or distant goals, but it means being aware of the present moment and appreciating it. Meditation can be a powerful tool in this context. This simple exercise can help you achieve a state of inner peace and concentration. Remember that life is not just a series of goals that we achieve, but the experiences that we live and the people with whom we share those experiences. Embracing the present moment means that you live your life fully without being a slave to worry about the future. In this way, life becomes a fun and meaningful journey instead of being just a race towards what is coming. Stressors and I felt that the whole world is against you. At such times it is easy to give in to the negative and forget about the positive aspects in our life. Here comes the role of gratitude. Stoicism taught us to be grateful for everything we have, even in the darkest times. Gratitude is not just a fleeting feeling, but a mental attitude that promotes satisfaction and inner peace. When you are grateful, you recognize the true value of every big or small blessing. Imagine yourself standing in an arid desert looking for an oasis at this moment. Shortcomings are one of the profound examples that reinforce the concept of gratitude. Stoicism is the attitude of the Roman philosopher Seneca during his period of exile and his many difficulties. He wrote about gratitude for the opportunities that allowed him to learn and grow. The gratitude of the snake was not limited to only good things, but also included the challenges that watered his character, gave him wisdom. This is the essence of Stoicism, finding virtue even in the most difficult times to enhance the feeling of gratitude in your daily life. You can practice some simple but effective habits. For example, try writing 3 things that you are grateful for every morning. It may be simple things like a morning cup of coffee or a smile from a stranger or even just your feeling of comfort. Remember, gratitude is not just a perfect exercise, it is a lifestyle. When you are grateful, you open the door to more happiness and satisfaction. Gratitude makes you realize that every challenge is an opportunity for growth and that every blessing is a gift worth appreciating. This attitude strengthens the spirit and makes life you look brighter even in the darkest times. In the end, gratitude is the path to inner freedom. It frees you from the constraints of negativity and nagging and gives you strength to face life with hope and optimism. By embracing gratitude, you become a true Stoic, able to live in inner peace. No matter what the external circumstances, start practicing gratitude today and you will see how your perspective changes for the whole life. Do not hold a grudge. In our lives we are exposed to many situations that may leave deep traces of pain and bitterness in our souls. We may be betrayed by a friend or wronged at work or face betrayal from someone we love. These experiences generate in us a natural feeling of when we forgive, we do not forget or ignore the pain that we have been subjected to, but rather choose not to allow this Imagine that carrying a grudge is like carrying a heavy rock on your back. The longer you carry it, the heavier and heavier your steps. Tolerance is to drop this rock is a conscious decision not to let the actions of others affect your happiness. Stoicism teaches us to strive for inner peace, and this peace is achieved only when we free our hearts from the hate. Is the power to forget and start over. Tolerance gives you the chance to start over. It gives you the freedom to paint. When you forgive, new doors of opportunities and personal growth open up for you. Stoicism invites you to look ahead and learn from the past without being a prisoner of it. Controlling the act. Stoicism teaches that we have the ability to control our reactions. In a moment of anger or pain, it is easy to succumb to negative emotions. But the Stoic philosopher knows that the real strength lies in the ability to take a step back and think deeply before acting. Tolerance is the result of this conscious self-control. It is a choice that stems from a sober and calm mind. Tolerance as a gift to oneself should finally. To realize that tolerance is a goal that we give to ourselves before we give it to others is a cure for our soul and a balm for our wounds. When we forgive, we restore control over our lives, we free ourselves from the burden of hatred and open the door to inner peace that nothing external can defeat. 9. Avoid comparing yourself to others. Imagine yourself in A and his unique rhythm of Stoic life teaches us to avoid comparing ourselves to others because these comparisons are often unfair. You may see a successful person in his field and assume that he got there easily, but you don't know the long hours of hard work, sacrifices and repeated failures that he went through. Remember that success is not the result of the moment, but it is the result of a long journey of patience and Stoic perseverance that reminds us to look inside instead of outside. Compare yourself now. This comparison is the only one that has a real meaning and contributes to your personal growth. Have you become wiser? Have you increased your ability to control your emotions? Have you come closer to your personal goals? When we focus on ourselves, we free ourselves from the limitations imposed by society's expectations and external pressures. We become more reconciled with ourselves and more appreciative of our individual progress. No matter how simple, this inner journey gives us inner peace and makes us more able to face life's challenges. Your goal is to improve yourself, to be the best version of yourself every passing day. Then you will find that real satisfaction. At the end of this point, let's meditate on the words of the Roman philosopher Seneca, not the poor who has little, but who wants more. Focus on what you have and be grateful for what you have and work on constantly developing yourself. Then you will find that you are living a life full of satisfaction and peace without the need to compare yourself to anyone else. Peace and inner awareness. When you immerse yourself in meditation, you leave external stressors and focus on the pace of breathing and let every thought pass as a passing wave without clinging to it. Enjoy the moment of calm and peace that comes with it. In these moments of meditation you find clarity and concentration and communicate with your true essence. You find inspiration and inner strength to achieve your goals and achieve your dreams. It's a moment of solitude with. Thank you for your precious time and also for listening well. See you in the next video.